Okay, hey now, PASW staff, clients, and friends, welcome to today's class. Tuesday, right? Okay. A lot of work to do today. Yesterday we had fun looking at Reservoir Dogs and your film scoring assignment. So get that into me by today, and it's going to be cool. Tarantino's 1992 film, crime jewelry heist film, and that scene of them walking. Okay. We're in Eagle Rock, but we got to get over to Georgia. Why do you ask? Because we're going to be talking about one of the founders of rock and roll. Now, I know we're going all over the place with musicians and people, so this is why I have a timeline. But first, maybe I should tell you who we're talking about. We're talking about somebody that's been called the architect of rock and roll. Architect is somebody who builds something, designs something, and whether he knew he was doing it or not, it was in his blood. He had to do it. There's some people that just are born to perform and born to influence and born to be famous. They have something to say and they need to say it. We'll be talking about the very iconic performer, Little Richard.
Gonna tell Aunt Mary about Uncle John. He claimed me as a music, but he had a lot of fun. Oh, baby. Yes, baby. Woo, baby. Having me some fun tonight. Yeah.
So lest anyone think I said Little Ricky. No, Little Richard. The architect of rock and roll. We're gonna let's look at his life and then look at musically what he's doing. Why and how did why is he important? How did he become important? What did he do that was different? Always being the first of anything, or one of the first of anything, is a good thing, but you also have to be really good. It's one thing to be the first to do something, but if it's not good, nobody cares. If you're the first and you do it really great, that's what people are going to remember. So, of course, we all know him as Richard Wayne Penniman, right? Yes. And we know him as Little Richard, but that's his name. Born 1932, okay? So in Georgia. And he just died a few months ago, in the year 2020, at age 87. So amazing that he lived that long. But yeah, let's just look at this timeline. These are other people that we looked at. So he's before Sam Cooke. He's before Otis Redding. They were both huge influences. They were both vice versa. He influenced them. Beatles are on there because everything revolves around the Beatles. And he actually taught Paul McCartney how to sing in many ways, and John Lennon. I mean, we'll get into his influence. But he's one of the first. 47, he's still young there. He's a teenager, but he starts performing and singing at that. So he's really early, almost before Elvis. I mean, so it just shows you. So in 1932, and in the 30s, what music's going on? We've talked about that kind of music. Swing music, right? Glenn Miller, Artie Shaw, Tommy Dorsey. And they're doing songs covered by people we've talked about. George Gershwin, Richard Rodgers. They're covering those songs because those guys are songwriters. The other ones are performers mostly. That's the music that is happening in the world and in the country. Now, I don't know how much it's happening in Georgia. It's mostly gospel music, right? So, like many other performers that we looked at during the 30s in that time, especially in the South, it's church music, right? And of course, as you can guess, his parents are very religious, super religious. And this guy had just a bolt of energy in him that was going to not be tamed at all. So he is the third of 12 children, okay? And his parents gave him the nickname Little Richard. So he didn't change that later. He was supposed to be named Ricardo. There was a mistake on the birth certificate, but so they just call him Little Richard. And because he was small and very skinny. And so his family was Baptist, Pentecostal. And even though that religion can be kind of very strict, there is something good about all of this strict religious let me just say this. Okay, maybe some of the values can be a little strict, But the good part is that sometimes there's really good music, and he learned how to sing and learned how to perform in the choirs. His early influences were gospel performers, and like many black artists, especially in this era, the church provides a lot of rigid, strict things for people that are just not meant to be contained. But it also, provides music as a way to let that joy out or let that anger out. Who knows what they're feeling inside? But in '47, he was he played the saxophone a little bit, but mostly he started because of Ike Turner. He started playing the piano. And when he heard Ike Turner, he thought, well, he'd go over to the piano. He starts playing in different bands pretty much as a teenager, and starts performing Louis Jordan's Caledonia. And that's Louis Jordan, somebody we'll talk about. He's another one of the very early architects of rock and roll. And it's called rhythm and blues now, at the time we're talking about, but this is really early rock and roll. I mean, without these guys, you wouldn't have the Beatles or the Rolling Stones. I mean, well, you wouldn't, okay? And Caledonia is such a fun song, and he said that was the first secular song that he learned. Secular meaning non-religious song, right? They thought it was the devil's music, so his family and everyone back home. But this is the one, and around this time he starts performing in drag. So can you believe that? Yes, I mean that's early on in the 50s, late 40s to start. He was just eccentric and flamboyant and meant to be out there, and started performing under the name Princess Levon. Even back then, he was really influenced by Billy Wright. That probably had the biggest influence on him. I didn't know who Billy Wright was, and forgive me, but if we look at Billy Wright, you can see that he was just visually influenced by him, of course. I mean, this guy was a flashy showman and flamboyant persona, and inspired Little Richard a lot. And this is Little Richard really, when he saw him, wanted to become a rhythm and blues singer. And Wright taught him how to be an entertainer and how to, even with his hairstyle and his pencil mustache, and how to dress flashier. Billy Wright was hugely influential on Little Richard. So he's got the look, right? And rock and roll, fortunately or unfortunately, you need the look. That's very important. So he goes to RCA, he starts making some records. It's really not until we get Tutti Frutti, and that's the song we're going to be looking at. Not really harmonically, because it's 3 chords, and I'm getting ahead of myself. I just, this gets exciting for me. So, but Tutti Frutti is what really puts him on the map.
Tutti Frutti, on route. Tutti Frutti, on route.
Now, the original words for Tutti Frutti was probably not that. It was probably something more risque. I'm not sure, but let's keep it kid friendly here a little bit for the most part. So he's just in his prime right here. He's standing up. He's banging the piano. He's created a whole new style, of rock and roll. Rhythm and blues is different. So if we think of Tutti Frutti, it's a hard drive. It's hard driving. The sound is so lyrically, it's crazy kind of, right? It's almost gibberish, but if we look at it, it combines boogie woogie gospel, and blues. This is the combination. This is the early combination for rock and roll. Rock and roll comes from blues, gospel music. His volume, it's loud music. It's not subtle, soft music. It's becoming amplified, and it's loud music. And the beat is being taken over. It's a strong beat. This is in your face music. This is not shy music. But here's what he did. We've talked, jazz has almost, sometimes there's the shuffle beat. So shuffle. That's the jazz kind of shuffle beat. He's not doing that. He's going. So it's not. He's saying, no, we're going to take that same chord progression and we're going to go bump, 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 bump. And that's how you get rock and roll. Come on over, baby. We got the chicken in the barn. Come on over, baby. We got a bull by the horn. Yeah. We ain't faking. A whole lot of things going on. Well, you gotta sing. Come on, everybody sing. Won't you sing, baby, sing. Woo, come on. Sing, baby, sing. Just shake, baby, shake. Come on over. A whole lot of singing going on. That's the new rhythm he helped create. The standard rock beat. And then you add drums to it. Forgive my singing, but you get the idea. You add drums to it. And then you get Chuck Berry after this, and he's gonna use that only with the guitar. Little Richard's doing it with the piano. Now, who that we talked about really is writing this kind of music, only not rock and roll. If you remember a long time ago, I'm going to make a very strange connection here. And I think he would agree with this, but what classical composer stole from Little Richard? Not stole, but borrowed. Do you remember we talked about Michael Nyman? Listen to this. Do you think there's any correlation between this and Little Richard? I do. I hear a lot of similarities, and I bet Michael Nyman would be the first to say he loved Little Richard, and he got a lot. See, so this isn't just rock and roll rhythm. And Michael Nyman sounds nothing. Michael Nyman's not rock and roll or rhythm and blues at all. But music is music. It's all related, right? And all of his music, it's not really like great songwriting. I mean, okay, subjective. I mean, complicated. We're talking 3 chords here, and those we're talking blues chords for the most part. If we're in the key of C, we're talking C, F, and G. If you learn those 3 chords on any instrument, you can play almost any blues song, almost any song from the 50s and early 60s. That's how simple it is. Okay, so what's so great about it? The performance, right? The voice, the lyrics, the feel. That's going to be the most important. We're not going to sit here analyzing the chord progressions because harmonically it's not meant to be analyzed harmonically. We're not talking about musically. We're not lecturing about what is interesting about these chord changes. We just know that it feels good. And that's something that classical composers and other people have to remember. Does it feel good? Does it work? Does it make you excited? Does it make you feel something? Does it move you? You know, many times in college, I got extremely bored and disillusioned with music, and I forgot how that music is supposed to be fun, and I lost that. And very deep, and by the last year, I was so consumed with studying serious music and so bored with it. I don't want to speak negatively, but you know me. I mean, most of the time I'm complaining, so I forgot that music's supposed to be fun and music's supposed to also make you feel. So just because we don't study this, we feel it, and man, that's just so great. That's why he sold millions, and you know, he got screwed by the record company, but what else is new? But I think he got some of that money back. But you wouldn't have the Beatles, you wouldn't have Michael Nyman, you wouldn't have all this wonderful music without Little Richard. And I just think it's such great music. So just enjoy it. And it's good that he lived a really long life, because he lived a tough life. I mean, when you got $1,000 a day cocaine tab, that's a lot to keep up. But I think he turned his life. He was flamboyant. We won't go into his personal life, but he was out there, man. But made some really great fun music that you know, puts a smile at least on my face. Yeah, okay, fine, I said it all. You beat me to it. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for, you know, if you ever have questions, email me, or, you know, this is a discussion. I'm learning with you guys here too. So, but I think we're doing really good work. You guys are doing really good work. So that's Little Richard. Yeah, love you. See you soon.